Two, three, five, four, three, two, one, one, one. Are we live? We are. So, welcome everybody. It's here in Australia. It's Friday, the 5th of August, and I'm so excited because today we're going to talk to a beautiful friend and colleague, and someone who I've learned from about copywriting. And if you're a woman who is kicking into your business online, and in the last couple of years have really started to notice all the marketing pieces need refinement, and perhaps you're really struggling to get your message out there, be seen, heard, and valued. Definitely part of the kind of purpose of Get Live Online and women being visible and visibility on video is for really women over 40, 45 who didn't grow up with all this tech to start to have some community and some support around the pieces that can help you be seen more online. And so today I'm super excited. I'm just going to bump her straight into bring in Renee Zukin, who's coming to us from America, which is amazing, in the Midwest. And I'm from Australia. And we're going to talk today a little bit about how she set up the Rebel Writers Group, which I love the title. So I'll bring her in and welcome you, Renee.
Hi, thank you. So excited to be here with you, Sal. Love you so much.
Thank you. So, where exactly in the Midwest are you?
I am in Iowa, so pretty smack dab in the middle.
Okay. And is that where you're from, Renee? Is that where you grew up?
No,
Is that
yes and no. I was born in Detroit, and my family's all from Detroit, but I was still kind of a kid when I moved here. So
okay?
yeah.
And so, do you have family there? What's your kind of personal situation?
Yeah, most of my family, my extended family is mostly all from Detroit, and then they've sort of scattered to the coast and to the two coasts. But my nuclear family is, for the most of us have landed here and stayed here in Iowa, and then of course all my family by choice who's surrounding me here.
And how many family by choices have you got?
A few, a nice handful. We have a beautiful community here of people, and I've got, my three kids that I have birthed into the world, and then about four more that I've chosen and taken in, my bonus kids. So it's a very busy, lively place around here, and I'm
I
grateful.
bet. Wow, I cannot imagine seven beautiful ones to be caring for. That's a big life you've got, and yet still you're really guided to create more opportunities for other women to increase their income effectively and get their
Ye-
message out there. And so
Yes.
I'm amazed at everything you do. You've supported me when I've gone live and been challenging and working with women to help them get live on video. And then I came and worked and helped you and was part of your team when you did a workshop, which really was incredible. And you did a beautiful process there where the feedback was amazing about us all really dropping into getting clear around our purpose of why are we here, how are we going to, what words will we use to describe ourselves in the process of being on purpose.
Hmm.
So why did you come to do this kind of work? Because I know you're a teacher as well. You've got these kids. That's a lot on your plate. What motivates you to decide also to help people after using your 20 years of experience in editing and writing to take on clients as well?
Right. It is big. It's a lot. I do a lot of things, but it all really comes from a place of just of love, really. I mean,
Oh,
um, but I've just always had this feeling that, when each one of us are held and loved and are able to do like the hard work of figuring out who we are and taking the time to care for ourselves and create the lives that we want to be living, um, then it really just ends up creating a ripple effect of more of that in the world. And as sensitive people, when we see the challenges that others are having, or we see, we've just gone through this, or continuing to go through a global challenge you know, of a proportion that we've never seen before. And I can't just sit back and wish it all away. That would
Right.
be nice. But I think about the things that I can do and how I can serve and how I can help. And I know that everybody here, in your group and all the work that we're doing as women entrepreneurs is because we want to see that change in the world. And
Mm.
it feels really big when you think, "Oh, I wanna change the world," and, "Oh, I wish these things were different." And the reality is, it is very big, but we can do our part, and each one of us as individuals, when we're doing the work and we have the opportunity to put our messages out there in the world so that others who are struggling with our similar and unique struggles
Mm.
can receive it and hear that and take that as an opportunity to learn and grow, and it just creates this ripple effect. And so I took a minute. I've been helping people in myriad ways throughout my life, as a teacher, as a coach, as a mother, you know as a community
Sure.
member. Right. And more recently, over the last few years, I really have been tuning into my writing, both myself as a writer and myself as a writing coach, um, to use that as a means to help others find their authentic voice, to really tune into
Mm.
words. And that's where the magic happens for
Yeah. I love that, and I'm gonna two things you said, but I'm really gonna pick up on. One was that there's both the similarity and the uniqueness of what who we are attracts the right people to us and gives us that opportunity to be held to launch ourselves bigger. And it is the entrepreneurial woman is a relatively new phenomena in
Mm,
this space.
yes.
It's really been coming on for the last 2 decades and then the last decade, and now we're really seeing that speeding up. And as technology becomes more, easy for everyone, what that period did in the last 2 years was made everybody have to be online and get better at it. There was
Yes.
no more ability, and so we can connect and we can communicate online, and that's how we're getting to have this conversation. And there's that uniqueness and that similarity, like you said, to find our authentic voice.
Mm.
And it's not working with necessarily what I like about these intimate group entrepreneurial moments, which I know you create as well. And I'm looking to be is there is the intimacy. It's not the authority up the front of the room telling us how to do it, or beating down the door of a kind of a patriarchal way. It's that, well, as women with something to say and with unique experiences,
Mm.
and we want to change in the world, and being that, like you've said, how do you get that when that's not really the narrative that we've been told? So I'm curious, what made you say Rebel Riders Group?
Right? That exactly. This is not the way we've been taught. This is not the societal expectations. And like many of you out there, I've had a little bit of a rebellious streak because you you have to, right? In order to do this work in a new and different way, or in a way that better suits who we are as women and who we are as creatives. We have to be courageous and rebellious to get outside the box, to
Yeah.
release the chains, to do things in a new and different way. And so that's, essentially how Rebel Writers was born. And specifically with writing, I one of the things you mentioned, creating these small and intimate spaces, and one of the things that I'm so passionate about is making sure that people know that they don't have to be the quote unquote writers, right? You don't have to be a published author to be a rebel writer, right? You don't. In fact, many of the people in my community are not, though many are. But what it is being able to tap into what you know, what you learned, your innate guidance in order to communicate in whatever way, is best for you. And when that happens, the words just come. And
Yeah,
I
that's a really interesting point, and I love that as a promise. I love that as an actual promise, like, if you do it, this will come. And it is about the doing, isn't it? And sometimes there's an accountability level to that. So I'm just going to put down on the bottom of the screen where you can actually find Renee too. So write that down, jot that down, look for her on Facebook, Instagram, connect. It is all about that. Reach out, be a part of. And I know we've both got challenges on next week, so people join the group and then they can come along to that. But I'm curious, what are some of the common challenges who the people that you work with face on the daily? Is it accountability? What is it that you find that is the hardest thing for people to, in a way, put pen to paper, put finger to keyboard? What is it?
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of common challenges. I think some of the main ones really are definitely the accountability. Like, how can I get myself in the seat to do the thing? Right. Especially as rebels. Yeah. We just got to do the
I think
thing.
I do that. I think I do that.
Yeah. And I teach the things that I had to learn myself. So these are
right.
Yeah.
That's what makes you an expert, I think, is really important in this world. People also have this kind of concept around expertise or authority, and I think what's brilliant about being older and aging so beautifully as we do and are, and really very few role models for women over 40, 45, and if they are, they're often big stars,
Yeah.
or rather than the many myriad of people that are helping people to be their whatever it is that they want in their life. And that idea as well that I think women have sometimes, Renee, I don't know if you feel this, that we should know it all. Actually, we should already know it all. We should already be able to just do this without any help. Like, I should have this sewn up. I should be, and we actually work so much better in community.
Mm-hmm.
The hive mind works really, really well.
Yeah.
And traditional communities knew this, and perhaps, we get into community and more things happen together. And so, even on the that's the sort of macro, and on the micro as well, with getting your own work written or your own voice, or wherever you're struggling with, that is when you come together, you're doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If she's doing the thing and she's doing the thing, I want to be doing the thing.
Exactly. Yeah, one of the things I created is and I know it's sort of in the middle of the night for you all in Australia, but the writers' room, and we just get together weekly for about an hour, and we come with the intention of something specific to write, or just that we're going to sit down and journal or something. And
Is that a paid group? Is that a paid group? Is that a
No, that's
membership
all
club?
free. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. The once a week is free.
People, once a week free. You just get guided by Renee what have you honestly got to lose except to give it a shot? So they come through the Rebel Writers Facebook group for that?
Yeah, actually you register on my website. It's just www.reneezukin.com, and you can register for the Zoom link, and it's been amazing. I mean, everybody comes and we get shit done, and you have the possibility for some feedback and connection because we're not doing this alone, right? And it's so motivating, and it's a beautiful place of accountability. Because it's definitely one of the biggest things that we struggle with as entrepreneurs and as writers is making the space, because as women we tend to put ourselves lower on the to-do list. And if we're running,
how has that been for you this year? I've really found this year the worst. I don't know why.
This year was so hard. It
was so hard into that space. I'm like, I've come to the end of it. I'm like, middle of the year, I'm like, what have I actually done to progress my goals in a way? It's really interesting. And I was curious about other women too, because that last couple of years was so insular. And then it was the get out there again. But that staying on track and on focus. So I think a weekly accountability group is so important. Of course, I have a coach and I have things that, and in fact, I haven't been going,
Yeah.
I got off the wagon and now I can't get back on it.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great reminder for me today to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for doing that for the world.
Yeah, well, and that's what I said. Like, I created it for me, because if I didn't have to show up, when on the first week, I didn't have anybody register, but I was like, okay, I'm going to open the Zoom. And, I was like, oh, nobody's here. I'm going to check my Facebook. But the next week, when 2 people showed up, holy cats, we got so much done.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, it's just, we create what we need for ourselves, and it's just happens to be pretty universal what other people need.
Well, they also say that thing that, if you feel you've got a calling, then someone is calling you. And so if you're a woman out there, an entrepreneur, or got a kind of even just wanting to be a writer, and you've got that sense that, I'm meant to be doing more here, I really do want to be out there, then this could be a great first step. And I'm sure there's much more information when you join the Facebook group, like I said, down below, and you can reach out to Renee and have a look at that. So what I was thinking is there something that we could do that was practical today that would, help maybe people? Like, one of the things that maybe what I'll go with this is, I'll just use the opportunities myself to be coached by you. But one of my biggest struggles that I have with writing is, so I've done the UCLA script writing program. So I come with a kind of, I worked on many films and scripts, and I feel crippled by a kind of a perfectionism and by a getting it rightness, and that it should be a certain way, and that really can block me and hold me back. And I've spent quite a few $1,000s in the last couple of years getting other people to write my work, but actually it hasn't worked for me either. It hasn't quite been the right thing. They're trying to put me into a marketing box. So what would you say about self-writing versus hiring a copywriter versus facing perfectionism? You got anything to?
I do. I'm so pleased that you brought this up. Perfectionism is probably one of the top blocks that get in the way, especially for us women entrepreneurs. And we could spend hours and hours and hours, right?
Yeah, got a hack? Got a quick hack?
Yeah. So one of my mantras has become, oh, it's good enough, right? It is good enough, right? And where perfectionism lies, there's 2 levels here, right? So the simple piece is, I have some templates and things that I can give my clients, and they follow the template, done, boom, action oriented. You get it done, put it out there, good enough, onto the next thing. Okay. And that saves you loads of time, right? The other piece that we work on in my longer programs is that deeper, where does the perfectionism come from? Where, the I am enoughness, the fear of, somebody else catching a mistake, all these things that can come up, right? And the reality is that mistakes happen all the time. And, there's a certain point where we have to just let go. And so surrendering that.
I think that's such an interesting thing, though, this let go concept. Like, everybody says let go, and yet, I'm 15 years in recovery. It's one of the big parts of being in recovery is to, let go. And I used to think, what are you even talking about? Like, what am I even holding on to? It's just, right. And so, like, let go of what exactly? What? Let go of words, let go of the outcome, let go of the whatnot. And how do you do the let go? How do you personally? Is there something you can say like, this is how I do the let go?
Yeah. Well, especially when it comes, let's just use like a Facebook, a social media post, for example, right? If I'm spending lots of time perfecting each word to making sure it matches this message, it's all too cerebral, right? And
Right.
if we're too much in our minds, we're not going to connect to the hearts of the people that we want to connect with anyway. And
Right.
so, one of the things that we've done in my workshops that you spoke about is taking that time to sort of reconnect before we even write, right? So how can I envision, the people that I want to reach? What do I want to wrap them up in, right? How just and taking just a few moments to get grounded and feel that, and then having the intention. Obviously, we have to be clear on what we're writing in our post also, but if you first come from that part of yourself, rather than I need to get this, I need to get these words down so that people will click on my thing, right? Even though that is also the
Right.
intention, right? That is also the intention, but you want to do it through, that inner connection, that heart connection that you can make with the people who you
Is it
serve.
about allowing the mechanical part of it to sit there? And yeah, I hear what you're saying about that. um go to the heart. The intention is great, like put the intention out there and then feel into it, and then just blah blah blah.
Yep. Yep.
So some part of it is like a breath connection, isn't it, where you just go, okay, take a big deep breath. It's so interesting because doing video visibility and helping people get in front of, they have the same thing,
Oh, for
perfectionism, and
sure.
I simply don't have that in front of the camera. It's like no filter. And yet not always like that. It was a choice, and the intention in me shifted of what it was that I was doing, and then it became much more about being with others rather than um, what people thought of me, even though because it's none
Yes.
of my really it's beyond my control what others think of
Right.
me. But I
Absolutely.
also I also know that I need copywriting support. That's something
Mhm.
I want, love, and need, because it's got no. Even though I've studied writing, it's not my expertise to be in this world to to come from a heartfelt place. It's
Right.
almost like everything has always been overly intentional, overly mechanical,
Mhm.
overly purposeful, as opposed to just a sort of a level of trust.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and
Mm.
where women and trust is tough, and trusting ourselves, trusting our voice, trusting that it's safe to be vulnerable and come from the heart as well.
Yep.
It's there is risk,
Yep.
and so what? That's
Yeah.
where I get to. That's my like.
Right.
And for all the fears I've ever had, I don't know about you, for all the fears I've ever had, it's almost like 0.5% came off,
Right. Yes.
like nothing. I'm really safe in all areas of my life,
Yeah.
not perfect, not, but really the fear has been bullshit. I call bullshit.
Right. Right. Well, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that whole that whole journey you took us on, because it is very much like they're the same fears that people have being on video. It's an exposure. Um it's a
It
vulnerability.
feels like an exposure.
Right. And that's the mind trick, right? Um, because once you are able to just shift that perception of fear, and that you can't control what other people think or about you. We just can't. And so,
And
allow
are you
yourself.
they're being malicious? I'm like, am I being
Right.
malicious? No. Like,
No.
who's this like fairy? Where's this monster coming from? Like, and
Yes.
it's the brain of literally the ancestral brain of 60,000 years of human development to be here, to be really aware of what's that, where's the potential for me to be harmed. But
Mhm.
you know, it took me a long time to realize I'm really safe and that I have the right to express myself. And if I want to serve and help others, that's absolutely a legitimate way to earn an income.
Absolutely.
That's a legitimate way to earn an income. I do not need to give everything away for free.
Yeah.
I am not, you know, parasites are not welcome. You know, it really is about everybody rising together and having a prosperous life, and that there's so much available. And
Mm.
I say to people, you know, if you are a woman entrepreneur and you want to have an online business and you want to reach people outside of your own immediate community, there is no better way than online. And why not you? Why not be a part of this incredible opportunity that women have never had, where we are literally able to communicate like this across the world for so little sort of input. You know, you just need an internet connection and some tool, a phone, a computer, in order to reach people and connect with them and have them reach with you. And you, if feeling called, someone's calling you. So I invite you to go to Rebel Riders. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
It's been awesome to have you and to get to know you a little bit more. And thank you for the tip to come into your writers group. I think that's so amazing. It's such a gift that you're offering women to and entrepreneurs, and whether you're starting out or whether you're just blocked, you know, why not join and enter that space and have the support and connection to really uplift and uplevel your business or just your life.
Thank you so much. What an honor to be here, Sal. What a wonderful group you have here. I'm just thrilled, because each of us doing the work, the more we can get out there, the more we can let go of some of those fears and be bold and brave and share our
And
voice.
rebellious,
right?
right?
The more change we will see in the world for the better.
Yeah. Have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to join the Rebel Riders group or come in. I'll see you. I'll see you in the Facebook group as well. Video visibility, get live online. There's lots of links all over this page. You're welcome to come and join the community. And next week, I have a 5-day challenge and would love you to get yourself being more visible in whatever way it is that your next step is. Let me help you get there. Come into the Facebook group and be part of.